Hey, what's up, everyone? It's your boy Darkpool Algo, and thanks for joining me on this. It's kind of more of a promo, personal story. I don't know what a good name for this video is, but basically, it's an informational. Hey, here's an opportunity for you to take advantage of a good service. It's basically a partner. I don't know, partner shout out, I guess, is the best way to look at it. What this video is about, it's going to be about an upcoming free webinar that John Carter over at Simpler Trading is putting on tomorrow. Today is Monday, November 29th, 2021, and they put on a free webinar tomorrow that's going to go over quite a few things, right? One's going to basically how to win in a runaway market, right? Let's see. Timing high confidence setups when nothing else makes sense, right? I'm thinking of some of the other buzzwords around this, but basically what it shows you is he's going to show you his main tools, and that would be the Squeeze Pro, or actually the Multi-Squeeze Pro indicator, the EINO Pro, which basically lets you see exactly what state the Squeeze Pro is in, right here on the bar chart, and it's the Early InNOut Pro. Derp. The Early InNOut Pro, I've got that too. These colors on the charts show momentum. I'll just walk you through it because I've got the two. Tools. Actually, I've got all three of the tools that are going to be included in this webinar that he's going to go over. He's going to be doing some live trading, or how it's going to affect live trading, and he's going to go over his most current chart setup, which is this guy right here. This is a horrible screenshot, so I apologize now. Essentially, Squeeze Pro. This is the Squeeze Pro stats tool right here. This is the Multi-Squeeze Pro, and I'll show you. I've got this set up. This is the multi-10x bars, and this is a freebie that he gives you that is including VWAP beta. That's a very good label system. And then this is Ready Aim Fire, or the Ready Aim Fire Pro. So I've got all of those. I use them all the time. There's just no other way to really understand how they work until I can walk you through it. So I'll ask in return for this video is you hit the like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and share it with your friends, families, coworkers if you want to. And then go ahead. In this video, there'll be a link, probably be the first link in the description, to go sign up for this free webinar tomorrow night. All right, if you want to copy the URL, it's right there, but it's in the video. First link in the description. Sign up. It doesn't cost you anything to take the webinar. Learn from somebody who's way smarter than than most of the people that you watch on YouTube. Right? This is John Carter. I'm trying to decide if I want to do an intro or not. Tell you what, let's pause right here. I'll come back. I'll introduce who he is and what the tool does. Pause for a quick intro, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. I think I might have gotten a little early on that intro review, but essentially John Carter's been a full-time trader since 1996. I wish I could have gotten to do an interview with him on this. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach out to the Simpler Trading team, since we are we are a strategic partner with them, and see if I can get John Carter on for an interview so that he can drop some knowledge, right? Basically, he got tired of making goldfish trades. He came out with his book most people have seen, or if not, you haven't heard of it, Mastering the Trade. #1 bestseller on Amazon. John Carter is most famously known for $1 million Tesla trade, right? $1 million in one trade. Just bam, like phenomenal. Since then, he's gone on to do a couple $1 million Google trades. I listen to him as often as I can. There's a lot of knowledge. Super easy to follow, no nonsense, no pump and dump, no BS kind of guy. Mad respect for him, and I'd love to do a trader shout out or influential trader video on him, as well as allowing him to maybe partake in it. It would be a great question and answer session. All right, enough about that. What I want to get into is the tools that he's going to be showing you in this webinar, and they are the Squeeze Pro, the Multi-Squeeze Pro, the Multi-Squeeze Pro indicator, the Early InNOut Indicator Pro, and the Squeeze Pro Stats tool. I don't have the Squeeze Pro Stats tool, but I have the Multi-Squeeze Pro tool. So let's look at this chart. This is a chart of Coinbase. Okay, It might not be the easiest chart for you to read, and that's okay. I want you to look at the colors, right? Because colors are important. Okay, so I'm zooming it in. We're looking at Coinbase today, 1 minute, 3-day chart, basically. The top row here that you see, this is the Squeeze Pro, and the bottom is the TTM Squeeze that's included with Thinkorswim. So what I want you to look at first is, I want you to look at the differences and why the Squeeze Pro is a better fundamental tool than the TTM Squeeze that's free. So looking at the Squeeze top row, I don't know if you can see, let me see if I make these bigger. If I make them bigger, maybe you can see the differences. I might just have to highlight it. Essentially, the histograms are pretty much the same. Looking up here, green means no squeeze, so all of these dots right down here on the bottom are green, 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 all the way up to this candlestick here, or this histogram, and then it turns red, right? What that means is that the squeeze has entered into a squeeze, right? And now it's in that squeeze, and it finally releases on this bar here, right? Let me drop a line on that bar. What that's going to show you is, right, that's where that squeeze released. Let me edit this, make it big enough that everybody can see it from here to the moon and back, make it a different color, save that as default, and there we go. All right, so we went from red to green, which means the squeeze released, okay? You would have possibly gotten in here and caught this little move, right? So that's one move that we're looking at there. Still on the TTM Squeeze at the bottom, all green, 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 all the way green. This is still green, 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 all the way green, 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 all the way green. So using the standard TTM Squeeze, you would have only gotten one little squeeze play right here from 745 to 750 this morning, where price actually entered into a squeeze and released. Okay. If you're not familiar with what the squeeze does, it's, let me just give it to you in a nutshell. Okay. Market makers price options contracts based on the expected move in volatility. What they cannot do, right, is they cannot gauge how far a stock price action is expected to move when that squeeze releases. In simple terms, the squeeze is when the Keltner channels enter into the Bollinger Bands. That puts an extreme amount of pressure into price action, and when that squeeze releases, you get a greater than expected move, right, to the upside or the downside. Market makers can't factor in that squeeze because they don't know when that squeeze is going to release, and they can't gauge that, so they can't manipulate the premiums like they do with just a standard 618 retracement of Ichimoku, or excuse me, of Fibonacci, or bouncing off of a pivot point. They have that data readily available. They can manipulate the premiums and the implied volatility to where your options contract, for example, can not increase in price actions ripping, right? That's manipulation. So what the Squeeze Pro does is it gives you an earlier entry system than the normal TTM Squeeze, which is perfectly a fine system, right? I'm going to bring this down a little bit here, and I'm going to go through the same histogram. Okay, so with the TTM, or with the Squeeze Pro, green is no squeeze, white is a low compression squeeze, red mid, and then black is a mid compression squeeze, red is low, black is low, red is mid, orange is high. I always get tongue-tied doing that, okay? So what happens is we're green, 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 we turn into black. Hey, we're starting to squeeze. Look at what price action's doing. Price action's starting to squeeze, still squeezing, still squeezing, still squeezing. Boom, we release. We release at the same time, right? Initial pop, right? Price action starts coming down, right? Everything's still green. Oh, wait a minute. What's happening here? We're starting to go back into another squeeze. Black, 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 black. We're still into black, right? And then, boom, that squeeze releases again, right? So we can catch another little move, right? Still compressing, still compressing, still compressing. And then here, at this level here, we had another squeeze release on the TTM or on the Squeeze Pro. We went from black to green, which means that squeeze released at this level here, right? Stack positive moving averages, right? The squeeze releases, and then we get another move. Now let's look at this second move, right? If we would have captured this second move when the TTM squeeze, let us know down here. This is all green the rest of the day. Remember, this is black to green. We had a squeeze release. Our moving averages were stacked positive, and we got a greater than expected move to the upside, right? And then we go back into the squeeze. So let's just say we caught the second run for the day, which would be this squeeze here releasing. Let's see if I can actually mark some of this up. That squeeze releasing, right? And we caught our run up, right? So we caught this run here. We ride. Let's see, we're riding the 8, riding the 9. We'd be validated out here, where price closed at least halfway below the moving average, right? 1.38% or $4.3, right? On, that's another move. You could have got 1-2 moves out of this, out of the day so far, right? All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and show you. As you can see, I made these white so that you can see it. We got multiple squeezes throughout the day. We can play the stock up and down. Okay. If you haven't noticed yet, with the Squeeze Pro and the new Squeeze Pro system, right? The early InNOut Pro. If you notice, the histogram colors and the price action bars are the same color. So if we go from blue to red to yellow to blue, right? And we have a squeeze release, so that we've got two visual signals now that price is getting ready to make a greater than expected move up, right? Red, yellow, blue. This slingshot squeeze right here, this one right here, I will play this all day long, and oh man, just bang them in, right? That's I'm just trying to be as real as I can with you. When that slingshot squeeze releases, you get a large move to the upside. Okay, so there's two benefits of this system now, right? Our price action bars are matching our histogram colors, right? 1-to-1. So the Early InNOut Pro lets you see what's happening with the Squeeze Pro right there on your chart. This next little thing that I'm going to go into is probably the biggest, coolest thing that I've seen so far. The reason I chose to use a 1 day 1 minute chart is because with the Squeeze Pro stats tool, I don't have that one up, but the multi-squeeze pro indicator comes with the multi-squeeze pro is available to see with this labeling system. It allows you to see what the squeeze is doing on up to 18 time frames, as long as from your lowest time frame to your highest time frame that you have, that you've got put onto your chart. So the left hand side is the squeeze, right? So monthly, weekly, 4-day, 3-day, 2-day, daily, 4-hour, 2-hour, 6-hour, or 60-minute, 30-minute, 20-minute, 15, 10, 5-minute, 4-minute, 3-minute, 2-minute, 1-minute. Those are all squeezes that I can just at a glance look up and see. So multi-time frame squeeze analysis is amazing, right? I know that the 10, 15, and 20-minute price action is currently in a mid-compression squeeze. So if I'm going to change that here in a minute, and we can look at the squeeze, and you can see that, remember, black is low, red goes on to black, mid-compression, orange, of course, is the biggest. What you can also look at is, if you look over here on the right-hand side, these are the histogram positions for those time frames as well. So when I turn this to a 10-minute chart, you're going to see a red squeeze, you're going to see a red dot, and you're going to see it on a dark blue histogram bar, right? Let me show you the easiest. Let me explain how this works, right? If you find stocks that are in a squeeze, in a multiple squeeze, right, and we're in a light blue histogram, when that squeeze fires off, it's a chain reaction. It's going to fire off the next squeeze and the next squeeze and the next squeeze. As those squeezes continue to fire off, I don't know if you've ever seen firecrackers. If you get a get a pack of black cats and you light them and it's just a pop, 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 pop. That's the kinds of move that we're looking for, because what that does is it continues pushing price action in the direction that the squeeze was released. And as far as coin is concerned, I mean, it's a nice uptrend, stack positive moving averages. When this squeeze releases, it's a greater than expected chance of it releasing to the upside. So what I want to do is I'm going to pull up the 10-minute chart here, right? Our 20-day 10-minute chart. Let's see what we got going as far as squeeze goes. All right, what did I say? We're looking at a red squeeze with dark blue histogram. 10-minute chart, red squeeze, dark blue histogram. Let's look at the 15-minute chart. Before this system came out, you used to have 4 different chart setups just so that you can see what squeeze is happening on the 15-minute, 30-minute, the 2-hour, you know, the 139, the 79, and the 38-minute, or the 4-hour daily and weekly squeeze, right? You want to see what's going on with the histogram as well as, right, this system. So I am at a 15-minute chart, red, right, red squeeze, dark blue histogram. I'm really interested in this 2-hour, right? I don't have a 2-hour squeeze, so I'm going to go ahead and look at the 4-hour. So when the 2-hour fires, it should turn the 4-hour from yellow to green. So that's going to be, you know, that's going to be the first chain link reaction, chain link reaction, chain link reaction, right? And what we'd like to have happen is that 4-hour turn into a daily squeeze to fire. That's when we get the larger moves. And if you've never played the squeeze before, the way the squeeze works, as soon as that fires off, you're usually going to get an 8 to 10 periods of whatever time frame that squeeze fired off of that direction, momentumous movement. Yeah, basically movement in the right direction. So let's pull up the old 2-hour chart real quick and let's see what we got going on here. All right, so this is coin. This is the 2-hour chart. Let me just unzoom on that guy right there. All right, so we are in a green squeeze, right? We're green, so there's no squeeze happening because one's already released, but our histogram is light blue. If I go to the 4-hour chart, we're going to see a black squeeze, and our histogram is going to be yellow. So what we're looking for is these factors to start compounding so that we get those great explosive moves. All right, last little example, and then we will move on, right? We are in black squeeze, yellow histogram. Okay. All right, so I just wanted to give you a quick introduction as to some of the things that you're going to be learning about when you take that free webinar tomorrow. It lasts about an hour. I will put a link in the description. Go check it out. You'll be able to see something. You're going to get some education from a world-renowned trader who is highly respected in his game, and he is on top of his game. Just real quick, I want to show you, let's look at the ES, which is the S&P 500, and how a squeeze can interact with the 4-hour chart on ES. As soon as this loads up, I promise I'm not going to take much more of your time. I just want you to see what's going to happen when this releases. Okay, let me zoom out here. All right, so where would we want to catch the move? Like, you know, what would be the best place to catch that move? Right here, right? We catch that move, we just rip. So let's go ahead and see what's happening at that time. All right, here's the major difference. Okay, Squeeze Pro is a early warning system. Hey, we are starting to go into a squeeze, right? Our dots turn black, right? They turn from black to red. The squeeze is starting to gain in pressure. We don't get any of that information down here in the free squeeze. All we see is a histogram, and we go from green to red. That gives us 3 bars to prepare for this play. On the 4-hour chart, life could happen, and we could miss this entire move, and then we would be chasing. We don't want to chase the dragon. We want to get on the dragon before the dragon pops, right? Let me just bring this back here a little bit. Okay. With the Early InNOut Pro, we have a visual signal. Hey, we went from red to yellow, which we know is a slingshot effect. It's a reversal, early reversal warning system from going from red to yellow histogram. Our histograms are yellow, right? We're starting to rise. Our moving averages get stacked positive, 821.34. We are set up to be in a good position to move above the previous high and above the previous high. We've been in a low to mid compression squeeze for the last 12 periods, and we are ready and we're prepared. We're ready. We know what we want to do. We know we've got our trade planned out. We've got our stop losses in place. We've got our entries and exits ready to go. We're just waiting for that squeeze to release, and lo and behold, that squeeze releases here, right? We avoided a false signal because that squeeze did not release. It went from red to green. Here, if we might have got head faked on this one. We avoided the false positives. It happened quite a bit with the free TTM squeeze. We actually got low to mid compression squeeze slingshot. We got a fire signal right there when that histogram crossed over from yellow to blue. Our price action bar painted blue above our moving averages. Squeeze is released. We get into that position, and guess what? We would have got into this ES position here, and we rode it until we got invalidated out by a close below the 8 EMA all the way out here, right? 5.5% or $183. That's a pretty good move. What could you do with that move? I think that you could do a lot. All right, that's it. Thanks for joining me once again. I'm Darkful Algo. I stream every morning, Monday through Friday, 7:30 standard Eastern Standard Time. I go over news, futures, upgrades, downgrades. I use this different system to find stocks for that day. And yeah, join me if you haven't already. Thanks for spending some time with me. I hope you enjoy the video. See you tomorrow night. Free webinar by John Carter. Hope to see you then. Have a good day.